Hello, welcome to Gelatinous Noobs,
Hello.
Wednesday stream, episode 2. I forgot to change the thing so it says episode 31 on Azarus. That's a lie. I'll change it later. We're going to jump right into it. We got a couple of announcements. We hit 40.
Woo!
That means Dino Prom. We are excited. That is TBD. We're going to schedule it. It's going to be a fun one-shot. Check it out. It's in the setting of Azarus. Any announcements over to you, my fellow streamers and friends?
We will not be doing the normal Tuesday campaign next Tuesday, 6 days from now. We will be doing a one-shot DM'd by Michael.
Michael!
Excellent.
Woo.
I'm excited for it.
Are people gonna die?
Yeah.
New setting too, right?
New setting, because it's going to be a slight intro, slight taste to the homebrew world that I've been working on for several years. So this one is going to be very much get me back in the swing of DMing. So it's not totally lore crazy, but I mean at the same time it'll just be a fun little one shot, I'm hoping. And yeah.
What are we gonna be doing? Gladiators.
Fight for freedom.
Like the Ridley Scott movie? Not the
No,
second one that
like
I'm
the Beastie
ignoring
Boys
exists.
song. You gotta fight for your right
to gladiator.
to be alive.
Yay! I love that one.
It's a classic.
So look forward to that Tuesday the 17th. And then our normal Wednesday campaign will still be happening on the 18th. With that, Game Time with Matt, my personal stream is starting tomorrow. Probably going to be happening on sometime between 7 and 7:30. Timing just kind of depends on my real-time job. But yeah, check it out. Baldur's Gate 3, Honor Mode. Gonna be fun. If I die, you the chat get to decide what I play as next. If you follow me, you get to decide my companions. So, exciting stuff.
Ew.
Check it out. Starting tomorrow. But with that, no more announcements. I think it's
No.
time to get back into the Theran adventures.
I guess.
Last time, the party discussed a number of things with Lady Kamara Kisil, as well as the High Cleric of Zeral, in the city of Larakis, in the estate of honored guests. It was there that the party was able to ask a few more questions about the prophecy of Five Fate, something that they had recently discovered while at Arm's Hold. The High Cleric was able to give them a little bit more insight onto what this prophecy may entail, as knowledge was a little bit different here in Eastern Theran. And the High Priest informed the party about the 5 children of Alakath, the Titan of Evil. He informed them about Sutra, the Lich, the god of the undead, or undeath, Valith, the warmonger, goddess of wrath and malice. There's also Uxal, the wraith, god of madness and shadow, Delphine, the seductress, goddess of deceit and corruption, and Tabes, the plague bringer, god of disease. It's here that the party followed up this information by asking if there were any strange happenings here in Eastern Thera, to which the Lady Kamara, as well as the High Priest, said that communication had been relatively quiet as of late. Now, whether that's due to just travel being very dangerous in Eastern Thera or something going on, difficult to say. However, their culture had had no direct experience with anything that seemed to be connected to the prophecy. That is, with the possible exception of their envoy Wrath, Yenna's son, who is on a very special mission, returning a sacred relic of Zeral to a shrine on the southeastern banks of the Bay of Flowers, a large, prominent bay here in Eastern Thera. It was here that the party decided that they needed to make some moves, but still had a few things that they wanted to discuss, taking advantage of the wisdom of the High Cleric as well as Lady Kamara. You all discussed the possibility of resurrecting Haruk, to which you were unable to find any answers here. You also discussed the circumstances that might have led to Wrath's death, and specifically routes he would have taken or any possible enemies of this culture, to which there was little information that they knew, as his body was just delivered at the gates. As the meeting was concluding, Rai had a private council with the head cleric of Zeral. Upon returning, the party decided that they would follow Yenna to the Temple of Honored Dead, where she would watch the last of the burial ceremony of her son, Wrath. From there, you all decided that you would go to meet Muriel, the Silver Spoon Tavern, where she was performing and might be able to kind of take a breath and take it easy. Now, before leaving, Lady Kamara gifted you all a very small pendant. Each of you were given a pendant as guests of the Lady Kisil. And this came with some perks. You were informed that most of the people here within the city and this culture would extend every courtesy possible to you. Something that most of you seem to realize while at the Silver Spoon Tavern. Some merriment was had, some jokes, some laughs. Elm found himself in an awkward situation. And some games with Muriel, and the party got to know her a little bit better as well. However, you as a party decided that it was not time to go straight to the City of Splendor, musical and artistic mecca here in Eastern Thera, in some place that Muriel was hoping to travel to, but instead needed to focus on the mission at hand. After laying down that night in your airship, you find yourselves waking up, fresh and ready to go, as today is now the 6th of Oraton. What do you like to do?
I don't know. I think I kind of just like wake up, go about my normal morning business before the rest of everybody else wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You wake up, you're getting ready. Do you put your armor on and get everything ready, or do you think you just go to the galley?
I think you just go to the galley.
You see Chef Tilnak is working. He seems to be a little bit sleepy, as if maybe he was waking up not too much earlier than you. He already has a pretty substantial breakfast buffet for you guys prepared. You do see that a number of other crew members are there. First Mate Shrike as well as a Quartermaster Aza are there.
I'll also wake up and head down and have some breakfast. Full belly before we leave.
Okay.
So Yenna's up early per usual, and she's down with the lizards, and I'm just scrunching the squirt bottles in their face and feeding them, knowing they're in for a long
Roll
day.
animal handling with advantage.
I love them so much.
Every lizard I've ever known, when you spray it with water, just 16. With a 16, you approach your riding lizard, and as you're spraying it, it's getting closer and closer to you. You notice that as you first purchased these mounts and stuff, these were animals that were unfamiliar but aware of their duties. And, they knew what they were supposed to do, but now you get this sense of not necessarily bonding, but comfort from this animal. As it just kind of approaches, and as you kind of finish spraying, it puts its large snout just kind of like under your hand and just kind of like moves it up a little bit.
Oh, you want it up there? Okay. Just keep scratching. Give him some scrunchies behind the ear. All right, Mama's gonna go get breakfast. Be good. We'll be back. All right, I'll go up and eat.
I'm showing up to breakfast fashionably late so I can make an entrance.
You wake up in your bed and stuff. What's your passive perception?
27.
No, it is not. I'm not God's favorite lesbian. It's 12.
With the 12, you notice that Nimbus is kind of out of sight right now. That being said, you notice that you are covered in cat fur.
Gonna try to do a dusting. I don't think I have prestidigitation. So no magic cleaning. Oh, I do. Perfect. Magic lint roll.
You cast this prestidigitation, and the fur just kind of like just floats down to the ground.
I'm gonna have to figure out a way to sweep the cabin. Find a broom. And then I think I just listen for sounds, like if people are up and about.
Yeah, you definitely hear in these early hours. I'm going to say that it's probably around 7:30ish, 8ish in the morning by the time you all are waking up. So, yeah, you do hear some movement in the cabin.
Is Elm's room, like, down the hall for me?
You have a space between, if I remember correctly.
That's what I thought. Do I hear his door open and shut? That's what I'll be waiting for.
I don't think so yet, but with that, let's jump over to Elm. What do you...
Elm slept like shit. He is like just super tired. I will also say he's probably a little hungover because he doesn't really drink, and they definitely had a party that night. So he's just like hungover. He feels like shit, both physically and mentally. And I feel like he's just kind of like, I don't know. Does he have like a mirror in his room or?
Yeah, it's not like a large.
It's just like a little.
It's a little like square.
Yeah, I think he's just like trying to get himself somewhat put together.
Before we get there, what's your passive perception?
God fucking damn
Yeah. What do you think is gonna happen?
14.
You're waking up, your head is pounding, you're kind of like turning over in the bed, as I think that you just kind of like were hitting your head out last night and kind of like turning over. And with passive 14, you see just this flash of movement before you're able to react, and Gizmo's just on your face, just kind of crawling, and he's just kind of like...
I was afraid because your cat was gone, and I was like, is Gizmo fucking gone? Hi, buddy. He
crawls over and then he just like goes onto your ear.
Okay.
And he starts like biting your ear. It's not hard, but it's also not like a cute nibble. Like you feel
ow.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I scratch him. I like pick him up by his scruff. I'm like, all right, let's go back to your house.
You put him up and he turns, and as you like turn to open the cat. So I imagine like your wardrobe has that little metallic thing. As you're doing it, you see out of the reflection of the mirror him just jumping onto your back. He doesn't go up behind your ear, but he does just kind of like play at you. Do you have scruff? No. He just kind of like plays at your chin, just like is nibbling at it and just like cleaning himself.
Have you fed him?
Yeah. I left him out like a bunch of food.
I was like, maybe.
I think I specifically said that I left like a bunch of nuts underneath this thing. I'll just kind of get ready. I'm just gonna bundle up. I take it up in the sky. It's even colder, so I'm probably like fucking freezing.
As you're bundling up and putting on all these jackets, for you, you're always cold. And it's not that it's especially cold. You know, at a certain point,
Cold's cold.
Cold is cold.
Yeah.
But you notice that as you're putting these things on, Gizmo is getting excited and like running through like the inner lining of your coat and stuff like that. And you notice that like he's actually like pulling and tearing at it with your passive 14, and he creates. So I imagine like an aviator jacket with those big fuzzy collars and stuff like that. He kind of chews a tiny hole into like the under part of the collar where it's sealed and stuff. And where normally you would like pop a button or a zipper to like pop it up and wrap it up, he's just kind of like nestled and made a little nest in that little part of the collar.
We'll allow it. All right. Gizmo, it's not going to be a good day. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We could go with both. He's just repeating like
Just playing through the night over in your head.
Like rubbing his eyes.
What did I do wrong?
No, he knows what he did wrong. He's like, God, you fucking idiot. All right. He'll open the door.
I'd like you guys to roll me. Who wants to roll a d20 between the two of you?
What are we rolling for?
Just one of you is rolling a d20. Call even or odd.
Odd.
What is it?
18.
Okay. You get to decide who leaves the room first. Or do you wait for him?
I wait to hear the sound.
You hear him kind of like grumbling and getting out. You know, he's put together, but even that you can still tell. It's not like it's super loud, but there is a little bit. You're in the hallway, you know.
In my head, I'm thinking, yeah, a late night.
Yeah.
And I just try to, like, using the mirror in my room, get myself, like, as put together. I have, like, a disguise kit.
Mhm.
So I would like it to just use, like, to put some color in my cheeks.
Sure.
And I have some perfume that I stole from June's house
Mhm.
that I put on. And just, like, basically, like, give myself a little pep talk. Like,
Mhm.
I am a catch. And so after hearing, like, his door shut, I give it, like, 10 minutes so he can get, hopefully, like, wherever he's going.
Yeah.
And then I head out for breakfast.
While you're preparing your makeup and everything for the day, it's one of those things that you've noticed with part of your condition. You're looking at, like, wrinkles, but they're not exactly wrinkles. You notice, like, they're just small cut, really tiny cuts, like maybe you brush past a branch or maybe an arrow or something. These really almost insignificant things, but they're just not healing. Stuff that you would never consider if you were a living, healthy person, but you're just noticing all of these little cuts and stuff. You begin covering them up, and there's no issue, there's no challenge, but it does kind of catch you off guard for just a second, just like, oh, right, as you kind of put everything. And you kind of notice as you do it to your face, you look over your arms and stuff like that, and you notice all these little things, little, almost tiny, imperceptible things, but to you, they become glaring now.
Yeah.
You begin...
Because it's like I look at my hands, my arms, like, every day, but just, like, noticing, like, for once, that they just don't look like my hands and arms.
You take a little bit of that toner that you use to give a little color to your face, and you start using it on your arms, and you notice it feels like you again. You're looking at it, and you're like, yeah, that's the right color. That's what it normally looks like.
That's what I should look like. I think this is the first time I've taken the time to put makeup on, and forever, too. Like, we've kind of been life or death, like, back of my mind type stuff. So I'm just like, all right, feeling myself.
As you're walking into the galley, I assume?
Yeah.
As you're walking into the galley, you see Loot, I assume Yenna as well? Or are you?
Yeah, I headed there once I was done with the lizards, eventually.
Loot, Yenna, and Zari eating. They have their breakfast. They're kind of set aside. You see that Aza is finishing up her meal and going back. Corp is walking in your shipwright. And you notice that Shrike is sitting there, as well as, Tilnak. As you see Shrike makes eye contact, he goes, "Where's the rabbit?" You hear that coming from the galley. All of you hear that.
I immediately just turn
I hope
around.
so.
I just turn around and walk back.
Maybe you went to go get her.
I bet she's hungry.
Do we cross paths?
Yes, you do.
Yes.
I don't even look at him, as if the other side of the
I
hallway
will
is
say
empty.
I had the note that was on your door. When it batted through, I put it back on the door.
I think you guys are walking towards each other. And you're doing your best not to, like, make eye contact with them. And you're moving. And you see just this rustle. You don't see any face or anything, but there's just, like, little movement that you've never noticed before coming from the collar of his jacket. As you're walking, do either of you do anything?
I'll just hit. Hey. Did you get my...
I keep walking.
Nope. I'll just go back to my room.
You walk into the galley. You see your friends. You see Shrike. Hi, do you have a good night? You kind of came in at a tiff.
I had a wonderful night, and I go and I sit next to Shrike.
It's sir.
He continues yelling. For the sake of our listeners, I'm going to stop yelling.
What's for breakfast?
You see Chef Tilnack look at you, and in your mind you hear, "We have eggs today. Eggs, pepper, chili peppers. It's delicious. It's very good. I like it. Do you want it? You want some? I can spice it up." His, 8 ocular eye, fire, just...
So, we established that I don't have to eat anymore, because my body just, doesn't need that. But I get the vibe that Chef Tolmec is really prideful in his work, so I would love to. Can you just doctor it up for me?
Yes. Yes.
Thanks, Chef.
You see he looks over at Trike, he goes, "No, don't do that!" And then he looks at you, "Don't worry about it." As he crawls over on the wall into the kitchen. Cork goes, Shrike goes, "He says don't worry about it. The drugs are never really that strong anyway."
I trust Chef.
You see your friends over there. Do you guys make it? At this point, most of you are finishing your breakfast unless there's any RP that you wanted to.
I think I'd pick Anna's brain. So, Rook is out of his gentle repose. What should we do with the body? It's gonna start rotting.
Oh God, this is a conversation for first thing in the morning.
It's what I've thought about all night.
As you set down breakfast.
No, you said we're finishing up.
No.
Your last bite, and you feel kind of nauseous.
You gonna finish that? No.
That's not where I thought you were gonna go.
How long after the fight at Orm's Hold did we get there?
Couple weeks.
So he was already in the process of decaying?
No, when you brought him down and you noticed that dispelling of magic, that he was repeating kind of this phrase when you were in a certain proximity, that then the body seemed to have almost like an aura drop all over it. Barely perceptible with a passive 27. You realize oh, okay, there was a reason why the body didn't rot and disappear anyway.
It was to get the message across. Okay. Well.
Dear, I think that's you and Loot's department more than mine.
Why ours?
I mean,
I play the lute.
I know, but you guys are the healers. You're the ones that can...
That's not...
Should I sing him a
That's not in
song?
my wheelhouse, though.
Well, you also hit things really hard.
I do
but
really hit things hard, so...
I don't know. I wish I could give you a good answer. I mean, at this point, throwing it overboard is probably the best thing to do, but I think Elm might follow him. Are we up in the sky, or are we just in the skyport?
No, you guys are in the skyport.
We're in the
still.
skyport, okay.
You guys have not relayed any direction or anything to the crew. Right now, they're just... You handed off the... there was a larger sigil and a scroll that said, don't worry about paying while you're here.
Are we gonna fly there, or are we gonna take our lizards?
I think we should take the lizards.
That's what I assume.
See what we can find. It's going to be dangerous, but, I mean...
Follow his path.
Yeah, do the best we can to make our way there that way. I've got my journal, so I can prepare us as best I can. It's one of the oldest sections. The journal was my mother's. So it should give us a fairly good lead on where to go. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do with Harouk. But I did get some interesting information from a couple patrons at the bar last night. They spoke of a tar-like substance on some of the fauna or flora. I always get those confused.
What kind of ranger are you?
But then, a bad one.
Look, I've been drinking a lot.
I think I've proven that.
Look,
I'm
an
just
alcoholic.
really drunk.
But they said it sprung tentacles and attacked. So, just another thing to look out for, I suppose.
Great.
Yeah. But it may be a clue to the pestilence that may be upon this part of the forest.
Well, I did know a guy who came out to the east and it became like a tentacle-y thing.
You did?
I did.
And
Didn't
you're
you say
just
he
now
gave you a
sharing
house?
he gave me a house. No, people know. I mean, Rhea knows him too.
Knows what? I'm like across the table.
Shrek has just been going over like proper procedure in storms and stuff like that, given everything from
I'm trying
last
to
time.
get information from him
Okay.
during their conversation.
Mhm.
Like, did you see who Elm came home with?
I heard it was a slutty rabbit.
Did you see her?
No,
Just
I want to.
the sluttiest.
Oh,
Well, if you go to the Silver Spoon, you can hit her up, but I don't know what you might catch
do you
from
think
her.
she's still there?
I bet she works there. Like, that's her territory that, you know.
We're not leaving today, are we?
I don't think so. I think the ship might... Are we taking the ship?
You see, he turns over to Cork. I'm taking my PTO.
No, I don't think we are.
And you
But
see-
remember the guy who gave me my house?
Yeah.
See?
The-
Everybody knows. Yeah.
At that point, you all see Shrek like pick up. He's like, "Today's the day."
Yeah.
As he just like walks out.
Yeah, to remind me not to use all my lay on hands today to cure him of whatever he's gonna come back with.
That's probably, yeah. I think Shrike can handle that.
She's
on
gonna
his
get bird flu.
own. Wherever he gets what he's gonna get, I don't think you want to lay your hands on.
So we have to worry about more than just the flora and fauna, possibly.
Who was this person? He's from here?
No, he was from...
Abberton, right?
hmm
Abberton's not in the east.
No, he went and visited the east
I'll
and
head
came
back down
back.
Was he like
You're
that when he
walking
came back, or
on
was
this
he...
conversation.
I think he slowly turned into it over time, and then when we stumbled upon him, he was still kind of sane.
Roll a history
Interesting.
check. You can roll. I assume you joined them.
Yeah. When
Roll a history.
Treg goes off,
3.
he asks me the question, I go...
And he was all tentacly, and he was like, "Kill me before I kill people." And I was like, "Give me your house, and I will." And he was like, "Sure."
So-
as one does.
As you guys are having this conversation, you're hearing up and you're hearing him kind of explain like he was east or something and stuff. You recall that he was traveling east to try and find trade routes, to like help establish trade routes. That to do this is like a huge endeavor that like a lot of people think like that's the gold rush. You know, if we can get a lot of these rare materials out of the east to central and western Thera, man, that's the big bucks there.
He was like a
So-
sightseer or a hiker or something like that. I don't remember.
He was trying to find a trade route up here and back.
At this
that
point,
makes
you're walking
sense.
in.
That does make sense. I don't know where the house comes in, but where
He
Had a house.
He had a house. He
was-
owned a house.
feeling like he was becoming not like himself, and somehow you got him to sign over his house
Yeah.
or put you in the will.
Okay.
He
But-
gave me his house.
What
There is
happened-
no Abberton now.
Yeah, there is no
It's
house.
gone. What happened after he signed over the house?
We
I
left.
locked him in his bedroom.
In the said house or
Mhm.
a different house?
No, side house.
Okay.
To starve to death?
Did he die?
Well, I assume Abberton's not there anymore, so yes.
Well, yeah, true. I didn't know if you had an active hand in it other than locking the door.
Nope.
No. Okay.
No, I think
Alright.
we just
All I
left.
did was lock a door.
But didn't he? I try to recall in my memory. He said he started feeling sick.
Yeah, so the whole thing came down. He was traveling in the east, and then he came across a strength plant and felt very sleepy. He doesn't know what happened then, how much time had passed, but he remembers waking up and kind of like not being in the same area that he was, but being just kind of like able to wander and like find his way home. And as he was traveling back, he started to like get kind of sick and not feeling well. And he assumed like, oh, I probably just picked something up. I'm going to just self-quarantine, stay at home, and see if I feel better in a few days. But it just kept progressively getting worse until eventually he started, losing fingernails, and like he started like developing a hunch, and then like he felt really sick, and then this long, drawn out, very painful process that you guys had some visual witness of. He transformed into this large tentacled monster.
He wasn't all bad.
Sounds like he just was a trader who got into the wrong stuff. Maybe it was that. You said there was a plant with tentacles?
It's a tar-like substance that was covering some of the plants that turned into tentacles and attacked them. So I
So don't touch the tar.
should probably steer clear of it. Yeah, I think.
Hopefully our mounts are fast enough. Shouldn't be a problem. Is
Just-
the Bay of Flowers close?
It's gonna be a while.
10-day.
You guys know where you have a world map in your war room.
Yeah,
you
we
guys
refuse
begin.
to go there.
You guys get up, and Luke says no, and you guys say, "All right, well, it's hard to
shit.
schedule it out."
No, we head up to our war room.
To the war room! Ba-da-da!
New world map is still unfinished. Larkis is right here on the edge of this bay
That's cool.
for scale.
Okay.
So each box is about 3,000 miles.
Which is the size of
Manhattan.
Dish.
This box.
That's one box. Anyway, you guys are roughly about here. And the place that's located, or that Lady Kamara informed you about where the shrine is right where this little crux turns.
Okay.
Right there. So it's roughly, depending on how you're choosing to go, if you're flying, going to be about maybe 2.5 days. If you're riding, because it is dense forest and difficult to travel, it's going to be more like 20 days.
Ooh.
Now,
And is that round trip or is that just there?
that's just there.
Gotcha.
Now, that being said, you know, especially Yenna, like, we don't need to worry about food. There's more than enough stuff to hunt and find and eat. There's berries, there's small animals and game and stuff like that. There's tons of bugs and, like, actual, like, large grub that you can eat. They're actually really delicious.
Rabbits.
No. No.
I guess the question is, are we going to be... do we need to come back here for anything? Potentially, if it's just information, couldn't we message...
If we get the item, though, we should probably.
I feel like we
Oh,
should
we have to
definitely
bring it
come
back.
back and check in with Lady.
I think it all depends on what we find.
Yeah.
We should definitely come back.
Especially if we find
You're
the
just
relic
saying
or
that.
we find information.
No.
So remember that Lady Kamara had said that they were returning the relic to the shrine. So she said, if you come across it, return it. That if we don't, it's kind of like an insult to the gods. You know, it's,
So
it's
if
kind
we,
of the thing.
if we come upon it, she wants us to take it to the shrine.
She said, like, look, I understand that you guys are really busy, but if you are willing to take the time to investigate and find this thing and return it, you will be well rewarded.
So we have to come
Okay.
back to get a reward.
So I'm assuming, based on the site of the mountains, that water flows towards the larger
towards
bay.
the lake. Yep. There is a waterway that you could take. However, you don't think that Wrath would have taken the waterway. The waterways are not restricted, but like a heavy commerce. So if you're trying to do something a little bit more secretive or something that's precious, you typically go through the forest.
Was Wrath found trying to get to the Bay of Flowers or at the Bay of Flowers?
I think from what they know, they didn't find his body. The body was sent back by magical means. So basically it was just teleported and directly into the temple. But
No, so
It was
the
outside.
center.
She-
To the
it was
outside
it
of the
was
city.
it was delivered, whether it was teleported or dropped off or anything. What they know is that he left for this mission, and then they lost contact with him, and then he just appeared.
So
They lost contact with him probably.
he was taking the relic back.
Yeah, he was returning the relic.
returning it
They
to the temple.
they take the relic, perform a ritual in the city to like a blessing of rejuvenation and safeguarding for the culture, and then they return it back to.
I thought last time we said they weren't sure whether they had it or not.
And that's absolutely true. They don't know if he got there and delivered it, or if it was, or if he was.
So, I think the best course of action would be trying to retrace the route that Wrath would have taken.
That would be my preference, both for just for my own well-being. But 20 days is a long time, and it's not going to be an easy path.
But it also might lead to information on what could be going on in the East.
Yeah.
So I think it's twofold. Even if it wasn't, it's your son.
And he's been guided.
He
And I
has.
have my peace with that. But I think the closer we go to that, the more information we're going to get. And that's what we're here for, ultimately.
An item that is important to this culture and to the gods. It is odd that it's potentially stolen.
Do we know what the relic looks like?
You were given a brief description. It's not some grandiose thing. It's a relatively small idol, something that roughly the size of a football.
Okay.
I don't think anything's a coincidence. I think it's all interconnected.
I would agree with that. There's way too many things happening for it to all just be independent of each other, especially with prophecy.
And as long as we work together, we don't have to worry about nothing.
No.
Oh, that's refreshing. I worry about things all the time.
Really? That's gotta be a...
Not really before
don't
I
have
met you
anxiety?
guys, but
No, not at all. I don't worry about
So he'll
anything.
go over
You
and
guys
open the
see
door.
a red light appear above the door.
See, there's somebody knocking, and I didn't give it a second
You
thought.
see Shrike, and
surprised
he's
you
got
noticed.
very casual, not quite formal, pretty nice clothes. You notice that his hair is freshly preened and everything. Or his feathers are freshly preened. I'm glad that you answered the door. He yells, but I'm not gonna keep yelling because I don't want to hurt your ears. He goes, Elm, I'm glad you answered the door. I wanted to ask you something.
Yep.
Do you mind if I take a shot at your girlfriend?
Please go for it.
Thank
Your
you.
girlfriend.
Also,
What was her name?
I don't fucking know.
I think her name was Thumper.
You are so cool.
I thought it was
He
Mom.
turns and walks away.
I'm just gonna close the door.
He's like, you didn't even get her name. You're so cool. I feel like you see, like, in this moment, Rhea, she just looks ticked.
As Elm closes the door, he smashes his head on the door as well.
I telepathically
As-
link with Zari. I'm like, why are they?
You guys
acting
notice
so
that as
weird?
Elm rams his head into the door, you see a little rustling in his jacket, and popping out from the side, you see a little tiny pygmy squirrel right there. It's just he calls out and jumps and glides onto the table, and it's just sitting on like the world map and stuff. You notice that as he takes a step, it like moves the map, which is essentially like a touchscreen.
Pick him up.
You see he's getting like, as you pick him up, he starts panicking.
I hope Nimbus isn't close.
You still haven't seen Nimbus this morning.
Probably off causing trouble. As cats do.
Probably tracking this thing.
With your passive 27.
Yes.
as
Have I
you
seen
say,
Nimbus this
as you say, probably causing trouble. You recall while you were sitting and having breakfast, being one of the first ones there, that you heard, and then the shattering of like glass and knocking over of pots and pans.
I don't share that. I just kind of smile and I'm like, yeah, probably causing trouble like cats
I don't
do.
know, it's a ghost. We have a ship ghost.
It's a ghost ship.
It would never be Nimbus.
I take Gizmo and I walk up to Elm and I say, you want to take a walk?
It's just wide-eyed, just completely panicked.
Yeah. I'll take a walk.
Do you take him?
Yeah.
As you set him down, he just immediately darts into your jacket.
Yeah, I think I would scruff him to get him off the map and then I would just put him in my hand. Like,
He's like just.
he's like, what the fuck?
If I
It's
don't
like when you
move, she won't
scruff a
see me.
cat and they're not expecting it and they're like, what the fuck?
So like,
He's just a little guy. You guys walk out,
Yep.
or
Want a little walk.
okay?
We have a plan?
Yenna just sips her coffee, just shaking her head and like utter just what the fuck.
With you in my head, before I ask Elm to take a walk, I'm just like, look, girls are complicated and they're scary.
I understand.
That's all I say.
Rhea with her war paint on.
You go back into your bag. It's just blood. Just.
By the way, this will
retcon.
last for 6 minutes.
Great.
Form of dread.
So, I'm like, okay, so girls are mean and they're scary and they're complicated, and don't try to date 2 girls at the same time, or have relations with two girls at the same time if they're not cool with it and you didn't pre-talk about it. Anyway, and then I'm like, oh, you want to take a walk?
Yeah.
Out loud, I'm like, oh my god, is that what happened?
What?
Nothing.
So, Loot,
Yes.
I'm just gonna throw this out there because what the fuck?
What the fuck is up with that?
If we're gone for 40, 50 days on this, do you want to go see Muriel before we leave? Because clearly we're not in any fucking hurry.
No, I'm fine. We got a mission. And
You
plus,
sure?
I can talk to her whenever I want.
Okay, I'm
Magical.
just offering.
Did you?
I wouldn't
This-
even know where to go besides the silver spoon.
I guess that's true. But I'm just saying, this whole thing seems like it's going to take a bit to resolve. So we may not leave until tomorrow.
I'm just figuring out what this bit is.
I don't really have anything else to do, so it's just sit back and watch. It's like a bonfire. It changes and it moves. You're not really sure why or how, but it just burns.
It's scary,
Burns.
but it's so intriguing all at the
So
same
right,
time.
you're sitting at this table while these two are just right across talking clearly about you. What do you do?
I just like absorb what they're saying, and then I don't have a problem, and I'm not sure what his is. I'm ready to go on the mission whenever.
Roll deception. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was like, yes.
She was ready.
All I know is girls are scary and confusing, and you don't try to date 2 of them at the same time.
That is very wise advice.
Right, dear, I meant nothing by it. It's just I think your poor man over there. I think his biggest problem is he's just not very bright.
Yeah, apparently,
I
because he
don't-
went home with her.
I did not. I don't. Nobody saw
Shrike
her.
said
come.
that she came back to the ship.
Shrike, really?
You don't think he's a reliable source of information?
I think
As you guys are, I assume you walk to the top deck.
Yeah.
As you guys walk up to the top deck, you see Shrike. Just flies off.
I mean, he is our crew. Like, he's supposed to be guarding the ship.
Well, didn't he leave before us? Well, and ahead of us? We all left at the same time.
Yeah, I left before everyone else.
These two, oh, you're talking about last night. Yeah.
Shrike didn't leave the ship.
No, I'm talking about us. We all came home at the same time.
But did Shrike say
He
he
saw.
saw her? Or are you assuming he said he saw her?
I did hear a lot of banging
He
last
said he
night,
didn't
though.
see her, but he heard of it.
I did hear it, too. Well, I heard something.
I'm sure they were just quick to slink back to the cabin.
We were making a lot of jokes about it. I don't think she'd made it past us, to be honest with you.
So why is he being so weird?
Because he's always weird.
I thought he was feeling guilty.
No, I don't think so.
Roll.
Where did my note go, man?
Nimbus chewed it up.
Let's go with insight.
All right.
Both of us, or
Both of you guys.
I got an 11.
I got a 5.
They
Yenna's-
were Yenna.
Yenna's pretty
you,
toasted.
Yenna, you think to yourself, I'm pretty well trained at tracking and being aware of my surroundings and stuff. There's no way that she could have come onto the ship without me noticing. Luke, you think
Rabbits jump pretty high.
She was pretty sleuty. She probably is familiar with the quiet walk of shame.
I mean, rabbits are light on their feet.
I can't disagree with you there, but I can't see it. I can't.
What would you do if you found out that your partner
I would have brought her
slept
home. I
with
mean,
someone
oh, wait.
after you made it clear that you weren't okay with that? That is not good advice. What did you just
I didn't
say?
let you finish. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
Slandered. I am not Batch.
All I'm suggesting is make sure you're right before you judge.
With that, we're going to jump over to you two on the top deck.
Yeah.
Rough night.
Oh, yeah.
Use 5 points of lay on hands. Like, pat him on the shoulder. You don't feel hungover anymore.
Oh, excellent. I still feel like shit.
Yeah, but you don't feel physically like shit. So what did you do?
What do you mean?
Pissed.
Oh, I'm dumb.
Well.
Yeah, we knew that. They're okay. Listen. Looking back retroactively,
Hindsight's 2020.
hindsight's 2020, and this is why I don't drink. You know why I don't drink. What did we used to do when we used to go to the bars?
Yeah.
Right. So we're at the bars. I'm with Brea. Everything's going great. This horny rabbit lady comes over, and it's like, hey, let's come back to your place or whatever. And,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
yeah, I remember.
You were there.
I was talking to her.
Yeah.
You were translating.
Yeah.
and I
A
said,
bit.
Yeah.
and I said, wait, so you were there for the whole thing?
Yeah.
So she's just mad at the fact that like I
I want to hear from your perspective.
You were there for one of the. Yeah, I just wanted to hear it again because it was hilarious.
so yeah,
I just want to hear your perspective.
I think that's like real time, like Elm realizing it. He's like, wait a minute. So yeah, and then I was like, well, this is where, you know, my brain didn't go to the right spot, but 2 nights before we had tried to like pretend / actually I was confused about the whole situation because I was also drunk again. Have a 3-way with
Yeah.
the moose lady, and I wasn't really for that. But this one, I was like, well, maybe we could be for it. So I made the joke of like, hey, I mean, maybe it wasn't a joke. Maybe it was more of just like a, hey, you want
It was like a suggestion.
have a, like, this might be a one where we might die soon, you know? I remember back to when Lute sung that song about fuck tonight because you might not make it tomorrow. So I went, that'd be a funny experience. And then she said, no, do you want to sleep with her? And I said, no, but unless like you're there, because like I was insinuating it was like a, you know, a group activity,
Yeah.
not just me having sex with the rabbit.
You know, shared interest and such.
And then she said no, and I said okay. And
Funny
then
story for when we die.
and then when she ran away, I followed. And I came here, and then I tried to talk to her, and she pushed my note back under the door, so I put it to her door, and I don't think she got it. And then I hit my head against the wall for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, we heard.
Yeah. I see fully how I'm an idiot in this situation, but it's also she's very upset, and I can't
Question.
answer.
Real quick. While you guys are there, what's your passive? 14, right?
Perception, yes.
Both of you see, kind of walking off of the top deck and like gliding down, you see Nimbus, and she's got this torn, kind of wet, salivated like paper, some sort, you know, about the size of an envelope. And she just kind of looks over, makes eye contact with Elm, and then just like continues on her way.
So the cat ripped up my note.
Cats are the best. Question though.
Answer.
Have you had the girlfriend talk with her?
I thought so, yeah.
It's a yes or a no. I thought so.
Yeah.
You said, "Will you be my girlfriend?"
I mean, not those exact words, but we had talked about, like, that we were together, and that, like, we were... I didn't say, like, that sounds so elementary. You want to be my girlfriend? No, it was just like, hey, you're my person, you know? Yeah. What are you getting at here?
Did you not talk about boundaries and such?
No! I've never been in a relationship before.
Listen, Elm.
Boundaries are weird. I'm not saying that they're not supposed to be.
confusing.
I know they are. I was confused she's all game for pretending to have a three-way with the Moose to steal stuff from him, but then when I suggest an actual three-way with a rabbit lady, she's like, fuck you, you're dead to me. I'm confused.
We're going to cut back. What are the three of you doing?
I'm just trying to. I'm reminding Raya, we've been down this road before. Remember? Stable.
Yeah, but I heard them in their cabin last
Do
night.
you know that?
In character?
Well, I didn't
She's
see
dead
him
now,
banging
thank
her,
you.
but I heard it.
Have you asked him?
Wise
No,
words
I didn't
from the
want
youngin'.
to. He was drunk and stupid.
Do you want me to ask him?
No.
I can get all up in
You're
his
a
brain.
child.
I can get all up in his brain. He can't lie to me.
It's probably for the best that you don't see what's in there.
She might be right on that.
Well, maybe I should ask him.
If you want to ask him, sure. I'll talk to him later.
If you don't, I will. Yeah, but if you want to talk to him, you're more welcome to. But if you don't feel like you want to, I'll go in there. And, if he said, yeah, I brought the rabbit home, I'll stab him in the liver, and then I'll come tell you.
You could just punch him, make it even for the time he punched you.
Yeah, see, I'm not more of an even, I'm more of a one-upper.
Stab to liver.
And I've been looking where his liver is, so I know exactly where it's at.
Nothing can go wrong with that plan at all. It's perfectly sound.
You
Don't
know,
worry, I can heal him.
Lou, no, I'll talk to him, okay? Please
Okay.
don't stab him.
Okay.
I'll talk to him. I thought
He's
his
left.
behavior this morning was him being guilty for banging the rabbit.
Which is still a possibility.
I don't know. It's fascinating. And please don't take this as any kind of slight or insult, but the young, and this is every species, race, creed. The young are so quick to jump to the judgments that they have in their own head because they're so afraid that if they take the time to find out for sure, they'll get hurt. Take the time.
I think
If you're right, then you're right, regardless. And we'll throw him off the edge of the ship. I'm sure Zari will take care of it for you. But if you're wrong...
She would definitely take his side. That's her brother.
But if you're wrong, and he really did do anything, then you're causing yourself all this pain for no reason.
But my feelings are still valid because that
But what
wasn't
are-
okay.
I'm not
What are
saying-
you mad about exactly?
Even if he didn't fuck the rabbit,
If I can interject with one thing, I think Loot is raising a notebook as he said, "What are you mad about exactly?" Taking
I
notes.
hear it come across, and I think back to Lou. That's not a question to ask a woman.
I got this. I
Okay,
got
okay.
this.
What are you mad about exactly?
because
I was up there singing, so I have no idea what transpired.
so the thing with the moose lady, I wasn't into that, but we were getting stuff out of that.
Right, it was a ruse.
Yes, it was a
Yeah.
ruse, which I thought all parties understood that. And then he wants to have a three-way with his rabbit lady, and I was like, well, are you attracted to her? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, and go home with her then. And he was like, but I want us to go home together.
And you.
And I'm upset because
You only want to pretend to have three ways. You don't want to actually have three ways.
yes, Lou.
I think what Luke's trying to say is, and please, if I'm wrong, tell me. Regardless of motivation, when it's your idea, it's fine. When it's his, it's not.
Well, that
Well,
wasn't
no,
a ruse. That was actual.
Yeah, he actually
Regardless
wanted
of
to leave
motivation.
But we were never gonna fuck the moose lady. I told him that. Communication.
Okay. Like I
The
said,
issue
he's
is
not
that
very right.
I thought that it was just him and me thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
But now it's a him and we thing.
and I don't want to be a we.
You should sit down and have the talk with him.
What talk?
The I don't want to be a we, but just me talk.
Lute is making surprisingly good sense on this subject today.
I've been taking notes.
I'm very impressed.
I don't want to be a we, I want to be a me. That sounds like a breakup conversation.
You know what,
That
Lou?
sounds like an obsessive conversation.
I'm gonna give us both some time this morning, and I'll go and talk to him. I don't want to interrupt. It seems like Zari and him are hanging out, so.
I mean, yeah, that's true. You know.
Cut back to Zari now.
Hold on, I'm making a thing.
Hold on, I'm making a meme.
At this moment, I think at this moment, you guys are just like letting the thought stand of what you're talking about and just like observing the city as it's waking up. You notice that Azza is above deck and she's like fascinating. She's going through everything on the ship. She's making sure that all of the ballista parts are cleaned, ready to go, double checking all the sails and everything like that. You get the impression, especially from today, because it's the first time that we've ever really sat and observed it, they do a lot of, like, there's a lot of work for just 5 people. And they're doing a good job of it, too.
Damn.
So did you fuck the rabbit?
No. No. I left before you guys.
I know, I was confused!
How would I have done that?
She's fast as
You say Gizmo, his
I
head
don't
pops
remember
out.
the elementary, but
Goes
I
back
wrote her
in.
a note.
She wouldn't answer the door.
Different topic.
Yeah.
If we're riding the lizards through the forest,
Yeah.
and it's gonna take 21 days, 22 days?
20-ish days to get to the
get there,
place.
and then 20-ish days to get back.
Yep.
Haruk's gonna start smelling.
Yeah, that's true.
So what do you want to do with it?
We could.
I'm not putting him in the freezer.
No, I was gonna say, can't you preserve things with salt? We have a lot of
You
salt.
wanna make jerky out of Haruk?
No, I'm just saying. All right, here's the thing. Maybe I sound crazy. I don't understand how this stuff works, but if there's just even
Jerky.
a fraction of a way to bring back someone that not only can solve Rhea's issue, but has a lot of answers to just about everything, I'm taking that.
Sure. I don't think making jerky out of him is the way to do it.
But what are we supposed to do? I don't have powers.
I think the answer's more complicated than salt.
I don't know. There's bound to be someone here that could do that, you know,
And
that
at least keep the ghosts
stuff
away
on
from
them.
I don't know if they would.
Well, they do. They have the whole catacombs. They have to at least do some sort of.
I don't know what it's like in there, but I'm sure they just like tuck them in the walls
Probably right.
or like bury them or something.
Okay, how about this? We could ask. We could set. Okay, while we're gone for 40 days, we give. I don't know who I trust on this crew.
Uther.
Yeah, he can't really talk real good.
That's fine.
Oh, I was gonna say we
trust him.
we set somebody with the goal of getting a cleric here to preserve him, and we can pay him, and I'll pay him, and then when if we find somebody that can resurrect him, cool. But if there's like at a certain point we will just have to bury him. But like we're in the east, that's where they said the resurrection people might be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. You go talk to your not girlfriend kind of girlfriend.
She's my girlfriend.
Is she?
Yes.
Okay. You go talk to. You sort your shit out
Yeah.
before we go on this mission.
Yeah, I know. We have to do that.
Otherwise, she might gut you and leave you in the forest.
I thought everything was chill, and then it wasn't. Man.
I'm gonna go talk to Uther and see if he knows anything
Yeah.
about
Him.
how to preserve a body.
Well,
I feel like he might.
You begin heading over to Uther's cabin. What are the rest of you doing? You guys you have had this conversation. You've plotted out the route that you would take, especially from what Lady Kamara had mentioned.
I guess we're waiting for them to get back so we can be like, all right,
Are you guys just sitting in that room, just hanging out, or are you going back to your rooms? Just for context.
I'll go back to my room and make sure I'm studied up on my journal for when we head out.
Sure. Right.
I take a walk around the ship, and then I'll try to find out.
Okay. Luke?
I'm gonna stay in the war room. Why not? Get familiarized with the map.
For sure.
He's like,
Elm.
this.
What are you doing?
I was gonna just start heading back down.
I think as you're heading up, you two run into each other. Before we get to that, though, you knock on the door of Uther's, and a very sleepy, tired Uther goes,
Hi, good morning. I am so sorry to wake you up. I just think that you might be the smartest person on the ship. So, do you know how to preserve a body?
Drink milk. Take vitamins.
So, I don't know if you know, but we have some extra special cargo on the ship. The body, yeah. So, he was only preserved for 10 days magically, and we can't do that. So, I was wondering if you knew how to preserve a body.
I have relationship.
Yeah, but I'm sure you have some sketchy background like the chef.
Are you gonna eat him?
No. No, but you know how, like, he totally does drugs. He totally, like, sells drugs out of the kitchen.
Not on my ship.
Oh, no.
I don't think anyone drunk is gonna help me.
No. Okay. I don't know what your life was prior to flying ships.
Fucking rad.
I'm sure it was awesome, but, so you don't know anything about preserving bodies? Do you know anybody that would?
I know how to make buddy.
I'm pretty good at that too, but,
That's just why I got
okay, well, what should we do with the body then?
bury it, burn it. I don't know.
Okay.
Talk to the cleric. I don't know my thing.
That's not their thing here either. But my brother decided he wanted to bring a fucking dead body on the boat.
Well, it's gonna take us a little bit long to get anywhere, but I know they might do that. Stinky airship. Gonna fly and be like, ooh, who you?
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the war room. Thank you so much.
Alright, going to sleep now.
you two are walking up and down the steps, run into each other.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
good. I didn't fuck the rabbit.
You didn't?
I didn't.
As you guys start
Don't
having
bury
this
the lead.
conversation, Nimbus jumps onto your shoulder, is there, and just kind of like rubs up against you, arches her back around the base of your head and stuff. Her head kind of goes. She doesn't make a noise. You don't hear it. What's your passive?
12.
Yeah, you don't hear it. You see her just.
Kind of like scripture. I think we have to have a conversation.
Oh, we do. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that out of the way in the sense of I feel like that was the stip. I think that's what everyone thinks, and that is not the case. Also, I wrote you a note. Did you not get it?
No, what no?
I look at the cat.
You just hear purring in your ear. Just.
Oh,
So that's what that
she
was.
likes you.
Anyway, you want to go to my room or yours? Or neither?
I-
Just go to somewhere.
Can talk here. I think it's fine.
Okay,
right?
sure. Yeah.
With your passive perception, you see Nimbus going.
I'm like holding my hand over Gizmo.
You see her eyes just. As she just kind of like gets real low. That's it. That's all she's doing right now.
So we have to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a we. I want to be a me.
Gladly. That's all it takes. We won't ever have to do that.
But if we talk about it beforehand, I'm okay if it's a ruse to swindle people.
Okay,
Are you okay with that?
I guess. Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
The whole time you have your
Yeah,
hand on
I'm
your
like-
shoulder.
Are you okay?
Your cat is eyeballing Gizmo.
I thought you were gonna keep him in your room.
It was, but he got into my coat. It's hard to get him out. He's scrappy.
Well,
You see
can't
her,
lock a
you
cat up.
see you see she's and you don't see it, but you feel her
Like her
hindquarters.
tensing?
Her hindquarters just like
They give a
shaking in
little shake.
anticipation.
You can't lock a cat up, but try locking a squirrel up. It's 10 times harder.
How? He's like this big.
The cat jumps across and lands on your other shoulder.
Oh, Gizmo.
You could try like stop
I'm
her.
like,
or
I
do
don't want to
something.
hurt the cat, so I'm just like, please.
I
Nimbus,
go
don't
and I try
hurt
to get
Gizmo.
Nimbus off. Nimbus, no,
As
no.
you're like pulling,
bad kitty.
as you're pulling Nimbus off, you see that her claws are kind of like dug in. So it's just kind of like that. This is gonna take a second.
Yeah.
All right, so let me air out that I am an idiot, and I will admit that. I would also like to mention, I would never, just because you didn't want to have a three-way, end up having coitus with the with the
Hold on, gotta add a marker there.
with the other individual. When the instant you said no, I said okay.
I heard you in your cabin.
What do you mean?
I go up to like,
Oh, both of us want to. Let's all have a gay old time, but that was not the case, and I was a little too dumb to realize that in the moment. I was a little in the heat of the moment.
well, I say dumb stuff when I'm sober, so I think there isn't anything to forgive. I think we should just be clear, and if we want to pursue this,
Mhm.
that's what we're doing.
Done.
Okay. Maybe like go have Zari heal you or something. That bruise looks pretty nasty.
That's fine.
Okay.
I bruise easy.
Where do you head?
I think
Do you guys like walk past each other and walking other
I
ways?
go,
or-
love you,
some
bye
way?
bye. Don't actually say that.
Oh, I was like, I'm not
Love you, bye bye.
Oh, we're girlfriend. I love you.
That's how you end a phone call. Love you, bye bye.
Bye-bye.
I love you, bye-bye. No, I think hearing, like, after talking to them, we're going on this long journey. I'm going to head back to my cabin so I can start packing.
As you're walking,
I have Nimbus.
Yeah, you've got Nimbus, and you're walking away. I think you're there for a minute as she passes by, kind of. And as her back is completely turned, Nimbus looks over and just goes,
And I go,
A silent promise.
It's a silent threat.
come on, Gizmo.
you look under your, you just see. Kind of milling about the ship, thinking, preparing for the day. What do you do after talking to Uther? Just gather everybody, or you want to talk to somebody else?
I think I would go into the war room and kind of plot out, like, where they could go within, like, the same time period. To be like,
Yeah.
hey, but, I mean, by the time they get there and back, Krug will still be rotten in the cargo hold. So I'm, like, trying to, like, do math in my head. And, like, how to make it work.
You guys all meet up in the war room eventually?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I would have brought my journal back to the war room
Yeah.
while Luke was going through the map, and we could help guide the trip in any way I can.
I think you guys are meeting up. You're discussing possible different avenues. You bring up the things that you discovered with Uther, and then you guys see that red light and a knock at the doors. Aza is there. She turns and goes, "So, I understand the body is going to become an issue pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's gonna start stinking on here.
So what are we going So what are we going to do about that? Because this place is not a place where you want to have a rotting body. Not this city specifically, but this whole region. You're putting,
well,
It's your pet project.
It's your pet.
I don't
you
think
say pet project?
Farouk's body should be a pet project.
It's not a project.
It's your side quest. We're here to support. You should find a cleric.
Great. I'll go to town.
I mean, Yenna, you hear and say, I'll go into town. You know, like, for them, somebody dies, they burn the body. The Temple of the Honor Dead is a very, very specific and rare tradition. Like, it's just not your culture.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're not going to find what you're looking for here. I think at this point, probably the best thing we can do is just honor him.
Should have let him be laid to rest with the rest of them.
You see, Oz, it turned to you guys. Look, there's probably a couple of places. It'd take me a while to get there and us as a crew to get there, but we could go, but just, I mean, if we get attacked there's lots of things that could attack us, and
Well,
just saying it's a risk. We're happy to go. I mean, it's your ship, we're your crew, so we'll do what you want, but it's a risk. We're willing to do it, but you just need to tell us that's what you want.
How long has it been since, like, they said that Wrath was found dead? And now?
Oh, it's been some time. It's been probably 4 or 5 weeks since, like, Yenna first got the message of, like, he's missing and stuff like that. As far as, like, the body arriving, probably 3-4 days.
I don't know. Timing. It feels like someone's trying to end the world, and we're pulled in two places. Like, yes, Farouk would be a huge ally. And yes, he was working on some stuff with me, but that doesn't really matter if there's no world at the end of the day.
What do I know about healing magics like that?
Preservation magics?
Or not preservation magics, but like resurrection magics.
So resurrection in and of itself is a fairly rare, fairly niche skill. There are typically 2 levels that are commonly known about, and a 3rd level that's rumored, and like fabled and stuff like that. There is the Revivify, which is a common, like, battle magic. It's very difficult, very expensive, but it's seen as less of bringing somebody back to life and, like, a last-ditch effort at healing. There is, like, Resurrection and Raise Dead, which are kind of that secondary level, and they are able to bring back a person if they choose and are allowed to return by the gods. But those are fairly rare. It's a difficult magic. It's an expensive magic, and something that usually only, like, major cities have access to, like specific types of temples and things like that. You know that somebody like that. I mean, Farouk was the person that you knew personally, but you would assume that there are probably holy orders within Central Thera and most of the major cities that you might be able to do that. Preservation's a little bit more common. That gentle repose is a fairly common thing, and it's less of seen as like a stopgap and more of like, okay, give the family time to prepare and get everything ready, get everybody here to say final goodbyes. The fabled thing, I mean, it's myth and rumor. You know, how much can you ever, like, I heard somebody out east or somebody out west. Argos had said specifically that he had heard rumors of people in the Isles of Harmony that perhaps could do that type of magic. That if he had somebody that he was trying to bring back, that's where he would go. But you guys had spoken with I think it was either Haruk or somebody at Arm's Hold, and they had said the people of Zeral worship the god of death. He would be, a good place to start looking. They would have a more intimate knowledge of his practices, his acceptance, and things like that. But they don't necessarily have the same intimate knowledge of culture that, say, Yenna has.
Right.
You have to keep in mind, like, this is Middle Ages China and Europe. Everything is shrouded in, like, a friend of a friend and a myth told me, and that's what I heard, and it's this magical place, but very little prominent actual knowledge.
Okay. So I don't know, like how there's like true resurrection, where you just have to have a body part. Like that's not something that I would know.
No, not at all. You could roll an Arcana or Religion check to see if you would garner more information, but it would say nothing about true resurrection.
I guess I just feel like there's so many living people to protect, and I don't want this other path with what happened to Wrath to go cold, because we're chasing a healer to resurrect one of many of us who died.
She's like, you guys don't have to go with if you don't want.
I also don't want to put our crew at risk.
Mm-hmm.
My concern
I
would
like
be...
you more and more every day.
My concern would be they go, he gets preserved for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
They come back, they're in the same situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also... This wasn't Haruk's home. Like, I would hate for his final resting place to be here. Granted, I'm sure we could... No, they wouldn't. He's not their honored dead.
No.
He's just honored to us.
Roll a history check.
Uh, 16.
There's one way bringing him back. So you look at your friend Raya.
We could always cremate him and then spread his ashes.
I'm just saying, that there are beings willing to make deals. That it's a thought that enters your mind. Mm-hmm. And it's less about like, oh, I need to do this. It's just like,
just an option.
You're just like
not a good one.
Drawing at straws. How do I help this person? How do I bring this person back? And you're just grasping at straws.
Yeah, if we're worried about burying him here, we can always cremate him, and then we can spread his ashes wherever.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to speak for the whole group. Those are just my thoughts, and I think it's something that we should
I agree.
decide together.
Who did Haruk worship?
So all of the gods, most clerics worship all of the gods. It's more of the outlier for like this culture. Like this culture is more of an outlier, where they're like, it's not that they disregard the other gods, but they just hold Zeral in a higher esteem and pray directly to him rather than to the pantheon as a whole. Now, for most clerics and things like that, you will see that they are more familiar with the practices of maybe Pax or Ara, those types of deities.
Maybe
Just
even have like their own like special like specialty of study.
Yeah,
even
exactly. Think of it like doctors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most doctors have a general understanding and appreciation for all medicine, but then there's specializations. You get a really intimate knowledge of specific things. That's how most clerics are like general doctors, and then there are some cultures that are more of a specialization.
Did he seem to have a specialization, or did he seem to be like general? He
was a renowned healer. Every interaction that you guys had with him, it was less of a religious upbringing, and you guys never really talked to him too much about it. But I will say, with your backstories and your connection to the Mithril he had a reverence for the gods, but it's not that he placed them higher or anything. It's just he cared more about helping and healing people. You understood, especially. I'll say roll a history check for my two previous Mithril Guard members. Yenna, you as well.
I feel like I had some in-depth conversations with him as well. Maybe not like history of a relationship.
This would have been more personal stuff that he wouldn't want to be just candidly talking about.
5.
It never came up.
No.
You guys never really had the need. You never had the need to like press into him. He was guarded about it for sure. But you know that he had a reverence for all the gods and stuff. He acknowledged that having a reverence and an appreciation. The one thing he would always hit home about, I'm asking the gods permission, and it's through study and practice and ritual that I'm allowed to ask permission. But at the end of the day, it's the gods who make that decision.
Could always try to chat with Oratar and see what he thinks that Haruk would want.
I just think,
But
I mean, I don't want to speak for him, and I don't want to speak for the world, but I know that there's a lot of people that have passed on, but I also think that he had more answers than almost anybody. And I think that his healing in a time like this is necessary. And maybe selfishly, I care for you, and I want him to be able to do what he wanted to do for you.
What it really is.
But he also was a powerful, powerful healer that could bring back, I mean, anybody. We need
Haruk resurrect people?
He resurrected Matthias.
Yeah.
But again, that was within that
Right.
earlier time frame. You think back to, for you two, about how much time had passed between Matthias and stuff, and you were thinking it was obviously more power than a revivify, but you know how powerful. It's not really your understanding. You just know that he was good.
Yeah.
One thing I will say for context is that all of you knew that Sartell employed the best people. He wanted the highest caliber of people.
Yeah.
We're all appreciative of what he did for Raya. He saved me. But I think if I remember correctly, he was kind of at his end of where he could help Raya.
And that's fair.
I don't think he had some secret answers unless
He
found
saw
them
the
out
fall.
close to the death.
He saw the fall. He saw everything that happened at Arm's Hold, and the rest of the bodies of the people that are there are burned and charred in ash, and there's nothing we can do about that. We need answers. He was there. He witnessed it.
Ray also witnessed some of it.
Oh, I can't talk to him because his tongue is out. I think I could, if his speech was intact, I could talk to his body.
Well, it's too
But I
late.
can't.
He can't do that now. I'm just saying, I mean, obviously a stinky ship is not great, but I'd rather have a stinky ship then be able to find some answers than to just get rid of the problem because of an inconvenience. And you guys have that fancy magic. You flick your hands and things smell different.
I don't.
Perhaps our shipwright could create a box.
I think Ozza's saying that it might attract creatures.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bigger concern. Azza is there. She's like, that's the bigger concern. It's not the smell that bothers most of us. Just plug it up your nose, but it's predators, scavengers.
Well, if you're in the sky or in the docks, then what are we? We're gonna be
Sky
out.
predators.
I mean, we're gonna be out in the fields on
Like
the
I said,
lizards.
it's your decision. We're happy to do it. I'm just giving you my knowledge and my experience.
Can't you like prestidigitate or whatever you call it?
I don't do magic. I
I don't either.
clean weapons. And
We can't risk the ship.
Yeah, I think we have a few options, some better than others. The ship going to find a cleric is an option. I think it'd be very risky.
Do you want? We could probably go to a major city or something like that. Find somebody willing to work. Hire them on if you guys are willing to spend some money, and they can be on the ship. Might be good to have an extra set of hands too.
Like a ship doctor?
Sure. Especially with you guys being adventuring types.
Someone
Getting into a scrape might have a nice little extra boost if you get home.
that powerful is
Gonna
gonna
be
be expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so. There's the option to have them go to a major city, find someone maybe who's loyal to the Mithril Guard, who doesn't find us suspicious.
Well, that's a risk in itself.
But that's a
because-
risk in itself.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring up the Mithril Guard thing. Just say you're looking for a ship doctor. I mean, that's not an uncommon thing. The thing is the money. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
How
who
much?
who knows how much we're going to be able to. What I would say is, give us an allotment of X amount of coin. We can barter on your behalf and try and get a good deal. But I mean, we got the extra space in the rooms and stuff, so that's not an issue. And we got more than enough food to cook. But you know, it's just how much you guys want to spend. And
How much do you think it would be?
Well, I mean, we can just, like, give him X amount of money, and then...
Yeah, to resurrect, to bring Haruk back.
Oh, I wasn't
How
even
long?
thinking
How long
about
has he
that.
been dead? I kind of got the impression it's been a while.
Right.
We don't even have a guarantee that they'd find somebody that could do that. They
We
could
were
be
just looking
traveling
at
all
ship
over
doctor.
for.
I mean, I don't think I could find somebody who would be able to do resurrection.
Mhm.
That kind of thing's pretty rare. But somebody who could preserve a body, yeah, it's pretty common. Some minor healing and stuff like that. I mean, if you want to go on cheap, I know some drunkards and stuff. I mean, we go to some low life bars and shit.
No, we don't need to go that cheap. We don't need a.
But
It's just how much you want to spend. I mean, we
I think
can.
it is smart to hire, like, a ship doctor and
Yeah.
maybe some more crew, so they're not running themselves ragged.
Look, you guys, it's your call, but I will say an extra shift, you would be amazed at how smoothly this ship can run, and how good things go. I mean, you got a lot of officers on the crew right now. You could just get deckhands, which are going to be a lot cheaper. You don't need to get specializations for people. We can just get deckhands.
I have gold that I'm willing to spend to hire a doctor and more crew.
Now, keep in mind, it's more mouths to feed, but we're happy to do it.
We have a great hunter that, can just catch as much food as we need.
Honestly, I mean, it's
Yeah,
not a half
me.
bad idea to just stock up. We're
Yeah.
here in God, we kill one or two of those big dinosaurs. Whew,
Mm-hmm.
We're set.
we're set for a
We
while.
could sell it.
Could sell. I mean, hunting is a prominent business. There's a lot of stuff we could do here. Look, what I was gonna say is you could hire easily 5 crew hands. We've got the space. We've got all of that. Maybe 2 more officers so that Shrike and myself and the captain don't have to be up all hours. But you could hire a doctor, offer him a private cabin. That stuff is nice. You guys have guest cabins. You got space.
And the perk of travel.
And you could give them, you got those profession rooms. I mean, shit, Corpse telling me all about it. You got space to work. Could offer a lab to one of those people.
Oh, he could, when we port, he could work in the city. Get paid through that
So
too.
I will offer up
Like a private practice.
2,719 gold to go towards the crew fund.
And are we all in agreement of letting the crew
Go
go
out
to a
crew,
major
yeah.
city to get a doctor to preserve the body and some deckhands? Do we want 2 more officers?
Yeah.
I think, I was going to say, if we get back on the ship, then we could just be officers as well.
No, I know, but we're gonna be gone for 20 days. Like
You're not
One
there
way.
and back, one way.
We are not officers.
No offense to you, buddy, but there's a lot of years and knowledge that goes into doing what we do. It's not as easy as just steering the ship.
I would think we'd have, if we're going to go that route, so we need to find them here. We can't send just the 5 of them away with the ship on a long journey to another city to find more
What
deckhands.
if they get attacked?
They're not going to be able to defend themselves.
That's
Keep
the
the
big.
ship up and
That's the big risk.
Well,
If
how
we didn't
far
have
is
a
the
body,
next city? Like big city.
The only thing is,
probably Theran, where we
is
came
there
from.
a doctor here that would...
no, but if they have extra hands that can help fight.
Well, they can always try to hire
Oh.
people here
So
first.
get deckhands and then go
And
and
then
search
go
for
to the
the
biggest
ship
city.
doctor. I think that's a good plan.
Hey, it's your coin. We can do our best to, like I said, Uther's an experienced guy. He knows how to negotiate, and he'll negotiate a fair deal for you as well.
They can
But
He's
like
got
I
away
s-
with words.
But right now, we're a couple. You still got some time on your contract, but we're coming up on it. And right now it's 3,000 with the 5 of us. If you want to do full set of deckhands, it's all negotiation, how skilled or things like that. What I would suggest, probably going to run you at least another 2,000 gold a month. So you're talking about 5,000 gold, and that's not even including the doctor.
I don't think we can afford that right now.
Here's what I'll say, if I can put my bid in. Haruk seems to be a very special guy to all of you, but you got a problem with no answers, and a problem that gets worse progressively every day. That's all I'm saying, especially with everything that you guys are dealing with. I'm not getting in your business, and we're not listening in or anything like that, but I'm just saying you guys dealing with some serious shit.
We're shooting arrows into an abyss, hoping to hit something. I think we honor Haruk ceremonial burning, and we promise ourselves to take his ashes back to his home. That's my vote. And I would get up and walk out.
I think that's what Haruk would want.
I feel like we should also cremate him.
I'm not of the godly sort, but maybe you could talk to your god and see if there's anything else that we could do to honor Haruk. But I think that it's going to take some time. Who knows what we're going to find when we start on this path. We might not even get all the way to the Bay of Flowers. But I think Ormtold is gone, and we have to figure out who's
move
doing
on.
this.
One other last point I'll make. Again, if you guys are on a mission and shit goes sideways, I mean, it's not far for us to get there, but if we're doing something else,
It's
you guys are on your own. Look, I think you're the one who's got the reservations. And you guys are all the boss, and we'll go with whatever you say, but what are we doing here?
I will go talk to Oratar or try my best.
I think we heard Yenna's vote.
Yeah.
I agree with Yenna.
My vote is that we honor him, let him rest, and continue his work, which was helping people.
And for the record, I didn't leave angry. I just needed fresh air. Just wanted to get outside.
Slams the door, says, fuck all.
Man, I can't believe how angry Yenna was. Like,
No, I don't know. I got the feeling that she's ready to get on the journey.
Elm, do you
You know-
have anything before we jump over to... Okay. You go to your room, to the deck. Where do you head?
Probably to my room.
Go to your room.
God, I don't know how to do this. I just kind of like sit and I like my like what's it called? My locket, I think, because we use that as my
Your focus.
yeah, my focus, my arcane focus. That's what I was looking for. I think I just sit there and like kind of like think about Oratar, think about like the abilities that I've been gifted.
Sure.
I'm just kind of like, what would Haruk want?
Roll religion.
Just lie.
Just lie?
Just lie.
It's true.
103.
It's a good religion.
13.
You have inspiration.
15.
Okay. 15, you're clutching, holding onto your locket as you're reaching out. Unsure of prayer or really the way to do this, but you're reaching out in sincerity. You feel a sense of warmth from your locket. Not hot to the touch, but just comforting in a sense. Roll me a D100.
D100. Pointing you in the right direction. D100.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Oratar is here for you. Or is he?
Go high or low?
I don't know.
I do know.
You do know.
40.
That's all you get. That sense of warmth. But there's no words. There's no kind of sensation or guidance. There is just a sense of comfort. Like somebody kind of rubbing your back if you're not feeling well or concerned or stressed. But
I go back to the war room at that point. I'm just like, fuck it.
all right. So what are you guys doing?
So what are we doing?
I just say it wasn't helpful.
I think majority
Rules?
rules.
Do we take them off the ship to do this?
Yeah, we're not gonna set fire to the ship.
Where are we gonna go?
That's what I was getting at.
Maybe we should ask Yana,
Mhm.
and maybe like tell the guards, like ask, like say, we have a comrade who fell, and where
That
can
would
we do
probably
this?
be the best.
Elm walks out.
Understandable.
Three of you there with Azza. She says,
Probably the guards would be the best bet, right?
Yeah, I suggest we
We-
go and get Yenna and then get the
I mean,
guard.
we can, yeah.
You know, get up and try to find a guard.
You go out the dock. It's still fairly early. It's about maybe 8:15 in the morning. But you get there and you see a couple of guards at the skyport. And they see the badge.
You know,
I go with Luke just in case. Translator.
Did you come find me or no?
if you were,
I was just
From-
on the deck of the ship.
yeah, if you were on the way to,
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I would have told you what I was doing. Hey, we're gonna try to put Haruk to rest. We're gonna go ask a guard. The best possible way to do that.
I might even be able to ask the queen or the high priest to aid us in making sure this is
Above table.
done right and done well.
Yeah. I could see us just going to the woods and doing it, and that might not be a good idea.
Oh, there's a reason we don't bury our dead.
You guys go find a guard. You know the custom. It's burning. You know that there are places within the city where they have funeral pyres and burnings.
Mhm.
Oz is able to wrap the body, and the crew. Oz says, if you'd like, the crew can be there. If you would like some people just to bear witness. Otherwise,
It'd be nice if you guys don't mind. Yeah.
of course, yeah.
We need to get Elm though.
I was about to say that too. Yeah, we'll definitely have to grab Elm.
It'll take me a minute to get Shrike as well, so
Strike's
busy.
still gone?
it's only been like an hour.
Don't
no, don't
interrupt
bother
him.
Shrike. He took his PTO.
Yeah, he
Oh.
did.
Hey, your show.
I mean,
Let him- yeah, let him have
have his
fun.
day off.
And I will. I was about to say I'm gonna go try to find Elm.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm gonna check his room first to see if he's there.
Elm, where you at? What are you doing?
I would go down to the body.
He's gonna steal him.
You see the bodies in one of the holding cells where you had placed it. It's kind of secured and stuff. It's not chained or anything, but body's still wrapped and stuff like that. There's no heavy smell or anything, but there is a noticeable difference when you're walking down, as if from before there was literally no smell. There's nothing. It was as if the body wasn't there as far as all of your nose perception is concerned. Now it's like, okay, there's a little bit of a funk going on in this room, but not like, oh my god, dead body.
I think Elm would just kind of go up to the body, and Haruk was kind of like one of the last beacons of hope that he had. So he's just kind of tearing up, and he's just kind of apologizing out loud to Haruk, and that he even brought him here, and that he's a fool for even trying, and all that stuff.
As you're sitting there, you feel kind of a hand on your shoulder. Kind of a warm, almost welcoming hand. You look over your shoulder. It's weird. It's as if somebody dimmed the lights in this room. And as you're turning around, dim, until all of a sudden it's just like you're standing in a void. You're standing in a room. Just this cell. This hand on your shoulder. And you look up. You're kneeling down. You're close to the body. And you're looking up. Saying right around maybe 4, 5, 4, 6. You see this dwarven figure. And he's got kind of this gold sheen to him. You see he's got some armor and things like that, and weapons. Looks familiar. You heard about this party that was traveling around for a while. You were following them. But you know that they had lost somebody before. They lost a dwarf. You see this figure. He was a good man.
Yeah.
You recognize this figure. Real.
He was. What are you doing here?
Your sister, reaching out, doing what she could with Oratar, but he's a bit preoccupied. There's not much that I can do, but I can at least do this. He takes his other hand and he places it down on the body, and you see this magical, this wave kind of emanate out over the body, and that smell kind of dissipates. We don't have a lot of time, but at least it's something.
Thank you, Real.
Good luck. As the lights seem to come back to the room, normal morning light, as this gold figure just kind of disapparates.
Guardian angel.
I think he cries. I think he finally actually breaks down and cries. And it's almost like tears of
I think you guys all are
joy
coming down to witness this. Go on, continue.
Yeah, it's almost like tears of joy / there's a lot of emotions going on inside of his head, so it's hard to put them to words or even put them to action. So tears are kind of the only thing that he can do. I don't even think you would fully notice that everyone else came into the room.
Mm-hmm. You guys see Elm over the body of Haruk. There's no noticeable smell or anything. You just see him, not heavily weeping, but tears are streaming down his face. sobs, light, but there.
We talked to the guards, and we've set up a place that we can lay Haruk to rest.
I know you really wanted to bring him back, and I'm so sorry that
I think
we're
we
not
got some
able
more
to.
time.
I think
How
we're
much
out
time?
of time.
You guys are there looking. Roll Arcana checks.
22.
Oh, this is gonna be so good. 3.
21.
11.
Magic stuff.
You're just like
Nothing.
he's clearly having a hard time wrestling with all of this.
Yeah.
You're thinking to yourself, Lou, like, this has got to be hard. I mean, I know what he meant to me, but Elm's known him longer, and I'm sure he had a special connection with him if he's fighting this hard. Not to mention, obviously, the Raya connection.
Yeah, I think Rhea's like convinced that, like, she's just thinking like, Elm's trying so hard because he thinks that he can bring him back to save me.
21 and 22. There is a noticeable aura emanating from the body. You weren't noticing it before, but you weren't looking for it. And it's far more powerful than what Galvac had placed on him. Can't really say for certain, but it seems to be a similar magic, but just more powerful.
What happened?
As you're looking at the body, you feel that warmth kind of emanate from your locket once more.
Real.
What?
Real.
Are you seeing things?
He was at the farm.
Maybe. No,
He came
He's-
back?
well, he said that
I didn't know the farm was out east.
he said
Why
that
didn't he want to see me?
Wait, yeah, why didn't you
sorry.
he said that you reached out to Oratar.
Mhm.
You said that you reached out to Oratar and he was a little preoccupied, but he was able to stop by. Yeah, I don't know what he did, but he made it better.
Still not breathing.
Well, obviously not, but he
I'm like looking at the chest. There's no rise there.
might have brought us more time.
Right now, the body is still burial wrapped. The whole thing is
You just hear,
completely...
Help me!
No, but I will say that you notice that he's still in burial wrap.
Well,
Here's a thought. Obviously, something happened here.
I apologize. There's one more thing that I have to add. You notice the wrap's a little different. The shape is a little different. But that's only because you have a 27 passive. You also see the termites in the wood.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
There's
There's
having
a
a
termite
family.
problem.
There's a family now.
God, we have to go find a
Anyway.
A Terminator.
A Terminator.
Excuse me. Back to Anna.
No, it is. Oh, I can't. I don't know. These things confuse me. But is there a city past where we're going?
I don't know.
You know better than
Perhaps I know. I'm trying to rack my brain. Perhaps
You
we should go back and
absolutely-
look at the
You
map.
know that within the Bay of Flowers is the Isle of Flora. This is a place where a lot of the Florakin come from, the plant people, tree people, and stuff like that.
What if?
You know that they're less of like a open trade kind of thing. They're a little bit more closed off. They occasionally have travelers, but it's not a place that you go vacation. It's kind of a sacred place.
What if we took the airship to the shrine?
Okay.
Perhaps we investigate the shrine. We take the airship to the Isle of Flora in the bay. See if there's any help we could
You
get
know
there.
there's no skyport there.
No, but we can rappel down
No,
or
for sure,
something
for
like
sure,
that.
for sure. I'm just giving reference for you guys.
All right, drop Haruk.
And then and then we can take the path that Wrath took on the way back.
Meet the.
Yeah, and see if we could get a ship cleric.
It's a thought. I still want to take the path as he took it, but clearly this is some sort of sign. Some sort of... it's beyond my comprehension, but...
Knots have been really quiet, but yeah, I think this is as clear as it gets.
It's going to take a 20-day journey down to 3 or 4.
Do more if you'd like.
3 or 4, and then we go back on the lizards, and
We'd have to find a way to get the lizards down to the ground from the air,
We
which
can hover.
we can talk to Uther about that, see how that would work. I don't know.
I have no problem getting my lizard.
they're
off
pretty
the
good at
road.
climbing on walls, so maybe we just get close enough to the ground that they, like, hop on a tree.
And then Luke can feather fall all of them.
The canopy's incredibly thick. We'd have to find somewhere along the bay's edge, I'm assuming, because we're not going to be able to drop through the trees.
Do they
Kneel
swim?
down next to Elm.
Huh?
I kneel
I
down next
don't
to
know. We should probably have found that out. I would imagine they do.
What?
Swim.
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 Like, if we were
Mine
to, like,
swims. I don't know about
feather
your
fall,
guys's.
jump into the water,
Uh-huh.
and swim to shore.
That's true.
Hopefully, you don't look like invaders to the Flora Kingdom.
Do you look at the body more closely when you're
Yeah.
kneeling? Roll medicine check.
We should go back to where we bought the lizards and find out before
I
we
have
just
advantage.
risk it.
Or we could maybe
What?
find a lake
you
and take
talk
one
to
of the
one?
lizards in.
I can, but they're not very talkative.
Because I noticed
They mostly just say hungry. Hungry.
Have
We
you
don't know
tried
if they
feeding
could-
it? And
Should
then
have
talking
made
about it?
Argo spotted
Hey.
love.
18.
With an 18, you're kneeling next to the body. You notice this with your passive 14 of her, like, examining this body. This body that's very
Can't
tightly
the airship
wrapped.
land on water?
Yeah. You see that Zarya is
But can
examining
lizards
this body that's very tightly wrapped
But can't we
and
land,
stuff,
like,
and
close
she's
to,
kind
like,
of
the edge of
looking
the
at
water,
it,
the beach?
and she's.
Depending on how.
Are you willing to
depth-
touch it?
Yeah.
You see that she's like moving over, and you feel a hand. Which is odd, because he lost his hands.
Right.
Followed. It seems like his body, from what he's got both of his hands now.
Does he have his tongue?
I don't know, but he's got hands. He's got hands. I think I start like unwrapping him.
You begin unwrapping him. It takes a couple minutes. All of you guys, as you're discussing like how you're gonna land and stuff, I think you see, you finally notice with your passives what Zari's doing. Any of you guys do anything, or just let her cook?
I'm letting her cook.
Let
There
her
we go.
cook.
You
Let a girl cook.
You see her unwrapping Haruk, and as you do, you see that she finally gets to the bandage at the top where it's finally in. And you see his head. It's no longer wounded. It's no longer cut.
It's not even Haruk. No.
You see that it is him. His body is whole, and as you continue unwrapping, all of his wounds have been magically
Closed
healed.
up.
Closed.
Yes!
You see, how far do you unwrap him?
I mean, probably to make sure that he has no wounds. Just
Head to toe? You completely unwrap him. Yeah, whole once again. Now, keep in mind, you've always seen Haruk in his armor and stuff, but before he was obviously taken out of armor. So he's just essentially wearing just like a loincloth for some modesty. But he's just there.
talk to him.
You can talk to him.
Do you open his mouth?
Yeah.
His tongue's still. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, ah!
I cut his tongue out. I got it, guys.
Got back the way it was.
With his hands off, too.
A counter spell.
We could ask him some questions.
Do you know how many questions you got?
I've never done this before, but
Roll a Arcana check.
What are we gonna ask him is the main thing.
8.
What happened?
You're not sure.
I don't know. I don't know how many
Do we have to
questions,
be
but I think
specific?
I don't
think
know.
we should
Can
think
he
of
be
them.
back? Can he come back?
Does he want?
Does he want to come back? I think that's a big thing because, like, he's my boy.
Because if he's content where he's at, I don't feel comfortable bringing him back.
That's fair.
We might not be able to if he doesn't want to.
That's fair. And that would
I-
save us a trip.
I would rather not attempt to pull him back if he doesn't want to.
Who attacked Ormshold? Does he know?
What do you know of the prophecy?
I think we know enough about that at this point, but
Yeah, but I don't know.
Again, I have no idea how long I can talk to him.
It's your guys' turn. This is you.
Would
two.
you want to
guys
come back?
cook.
And if you can come back, how? Do you know who would be able to bring you back? Maybe
Okay.
he'd know.
Did he have a teacher?
Can you give me a quest marker? Thank you.
Make
Please drop a
It,
pin.
make it one big question, and then it's just one.
Yeah, if I put an and in there.
And
and- However,
How did they get into Ormshold?
and please
because-
show your work.
Because there was magical protection and somehow that dropped. And I know we suspect the Taylor, but
Damn Taylor.
anything else?
I think we should narrow it down just in case you ran out of questions.
Can you do it more than once?
You don't know.
I could try.
should we get in the air and do this as we're going? If we know we're going in that direction anyway.
We're gonna fly to the Bay of
Yeah,
Flowers?
we can start traveling. We should let the crew know.
Gotcha.
I'll take care of that.
Oh, and maybe-
Actually, I can't talk to Uther.
I'll go talk to you.
I don't speak his language.
Just
You
take
can talk to him. He just can't talk back to you.
if you
Right,
take
it'd
some
be
drugs
worthless.
about it, you can talk to him.
Yeah, I did notice the other night I could kind of understand him.
You
That
found
was exciting.
Asa.
When you were drunk.
She goes,
Yes.
should we set sail now?
Yeah, we're getting ready to go.
It'll take some time to get Shrike, but yes, we'll
Oh, poor
as soon as he
Shrike.
returns. We'll,
Pete-
Tell Shrike if he isn't feeling well to come see me.
okay.
Or if he develops any weird rashes or anything, tell him to come see me.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a doctor myself.
Let's see if he gets lucky.
Five gold pieces says he didn't.
Flashes over to him,
Yeah,
crying at
that's
the
a
bar.
smart bet, yeah.
Five says he did.
Yes.
That's my boy.
she takes you and she goes, let's make it 100. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
She's like, I can't.
That's my boy.
Ship betting.
I'm pulling for my boy.
You bet that he
did.
nice.
Okay.
It's just the,
She looked like she would probably sleep with anyone with the pulse, so
it's the bald eagle Muppet from the Muppets with Lola Bunny. I love it. He just walks in on it.
today's the day.
So, for the sake of brevity, it takes maybe a couple of hours for her to like reach out, get a hold of them. They don't have sending stones to just communicate willy nilly.
You could, Lou.
I could.
Do you offer to do a sending?
No.
I wouldn't think to ask it.
It
either,
takes
so.
it takes a couple hours, but they do get Shrike back on
Give him
the
a
ship
couple hours of PTO.
I don't
like
want
that.
to interrupt him.
to get this out of the way. You're there, and Ozza is there as he's coming back, and he's just kind of just walking onto the ship. So,
How'd it go?
once again, I'm not going to yell because I care about your ears, listener. But yelling, he goes, I don't know what it is, but every time I walk into a bar, people seem to walk away from me.
So yes and no.
I think
So
we
that was a
should
no?
Sleep with Shrike. A pity sleep.
Okay.
I couldn't find her either.
Oh, she
I was-
probably works like night shift.
I'll do it.
That makes sense.
Oh, you think she was a working girl?
I'll take
Yeah,
over the
she
team.
worked there.
Oh.
sorry, bud.
Where are we going? I don't want to talk. Ozza looks. I'm so sorry. She like hugs him, and with her other hand is just
I give him
holding.
10 platinum pieces.
She just takes. She goes, "That's all right. We'll find her for you, buddy. She's out there."
We'll find the one for you.
And then they head off, jumping back to. I assume you wait for everybody to be in the scene, or no? Okay.
Yeah.
You guys have Haruk.
All right.
My hero. Is it only you that can talk to him?
It's
I think so.
verbal, somatic, and
Material components.
material components. So,
But you don't. You have an arcane focus, so you're good.
okay.
Unless there's the monetary value.
Yeah,
Nope.
there's not.
It's just incense. So
What is your arcane focus?
I don't think I ever said.
You have it. You would have received it after making the deal. For the sake of brevity, it can be the squeaker's pen. Or it could be something else. If you want, you could just think on it and get it to us next time.
It's her rib cage.
It's the coin.
No, the coin's
We
different.
got after.
Yeah, but it could be imbued.
It's imbued with some other
I
stuff.
think if I got it after the pact, it would be the infernal writing that's typically invisible.
Sure.
And when she's casting, it kind of like blazes.
Yeah.
Duplicate.
You guys see this scroll of infernal writing just as sold on plastered across her forehead and down the right side of her face as she begins casting the spell, like you've seen every time she's cast a spell.
And I feel like since I've never done this before, I'm like, but I know Haruk, so maybe I just think of my interactions with him.
You begin casting the spell more from feeling the knowledge. You're allowing your mind and energy to kind of go through you and flow through you. You see this small little purple sprite of energy just kind of stem out from the palm of your hand, and it goes and it kind of circles and makes a few runic gestures in the air, flies into the chest of Haruk, who you see his eyes and mouth open with a faint purple glow.
We don't know. The time starts now. Haruk, do you want to come back to life?
I'm finally at peace. In a lifetime of war.
Who attacked Orm's Hold?
Masked figures. The dead. A dragon.
I don't think he. Okay.
Dragon.
How did they get into Orm's Hold?
I don't know. Our defenses were lowered somehow.
What do you know of the prophecy?
Which one?
Okay. What was the prophecy's name?
The prophet. Well, he doesn't.
What?
Prophecy of the Five Fates.
Haruk, what do you know of the prophecy of the Five Fates?
I know a lot about it. the glow begins to fade from his eyes as his body gently falls back down to the ground.
And deteriorate.
Damn it! I mean, we got some information.
Well, he doesn't want to be brought back.
He didn't say that he didn't want to. He just said he's at peace.
After a lifetime of war, I think that's enough information for me.
I'd agree.
I'm like, fuck this guy. He's coming back.
I mean, yeah, I took that as a, hey, don't bring me back, I'm at peace.
But he also says he has a lot of answers.
He didn't say he had a lot of answers. He just said he knew a lot about the prophecy. Which we all know a lot about the prophecy now.
Which, if we were able to continue to buy time, we find out more specifics at the shrine. We can be more specifics on our questions if we can do that again.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
We've got multiple
mean,
days of travel.
I could try it again now and see if we can maybe ask more specific.
It's up to you. You're the...
I don't know if I can.
I can't think of anything most specific at this point that we don't know.
magician.
Well, we have time to travel.
Yes.
He's not deteriorating anymore. Let's wrap him back up.
We
Try
find the
again when
shrine.
we have more questions.
Do we want to send the ship to the Isle of Flora or have them wait for us while we inspect the shrine?
I think it would be fair while we inspect the shrine, if we don't find anything from there, sending them. Or we could go with them real quick. It's not too far from the bay, right?
Keep in mind the trip to the shrine by airship is like 2 days,
Right.
maybe 3 days.
2 days, but then
Depends on weather and stuff, but yeah,
we were
real
just
short.
talking if we were parting from the ship while we're at the shrine.
To give you reference, your ship can go this far in 5 days. You have a
Wow.
3rd level arcane battery.
So from where we believe the shrine is, it's about a day to the Isle of Flora.
No, it's depending on how you're traveling. If you're traveling by airship,
Yeah.
it's maybe a couple hours.
Okay.
Not even a day.
So maybe
This is where the shrine is.
Yep.
This is the Isle of Flora. So maybe 4 or 5 hours.
we see if there's any disturbance at the shrine, if we learn anything. If not, we could either go with the ship or send the ship and start on the journey back, because that's going to be
What
the longest.
Do you know about the people at, like, the Flora people?
I don't know a ton. It's a very sacred place. The
Little history.
people that are native there roll dice to figure out stuff. 19.
With a 19, you know that it's not sacred in the sense that like it's a holy land or anything like that, but the Flora people live there and they're more isolationist. They tend to not accept trade or travel with other people. They seem to place it as something of renown. Like, to them it's holy land, but there's never been any knowledge of like any temples or anything there. Occasionally, people will wash up there and be stranded, and they've helped, and sometimes they haven't. It's difficult to say.
It's not the kind of place that would have sent emissaries to any of the other cities. They are their own isolated people.
They're far more isolated. Like, to see a Florican in general is fairly rare, especially in the vastness of the world. But even in Eastern there, it's pretty rare to see a Florican.
Almost tribal.
Very.
I don't know if I'd feel comfortable sending the ship there without us.
I agree.
I third.
Agree.
The one thing that I will say for sure, that that there's no docks or anything.
Right.
So like it would just be in a field or in a grass, or trying to find a spot to land to begin with.
Let's just get to the shrine first, and we can make decisions from there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Seems like Karuk will be okay for a while.
Okay.
Trip won't take nearly as long.
You guys are able to prepare your things. The ship takes off after everybody's accounted for. Captain Uther's left asleep for this first bit. Who wants to roll for weather?
The loaded dice.
Give me that roll.
10.
10. You guys begin flying out. It's not an overcast day, but it's also not bad. Flying above the tree line, you do see a little bit of mist, cloud, kind of this humidity that seems to be around in this area. Pretty smooth day's travel. What are you all doing on this first day of travel? Where do you think you're hanging out? What do you think your character's doing?
I'm in like the rec room, just playing with my loot.
I'm
Is
piecing
that what
they call
together
it?
My
That's what the kids are calling
book
it nowadays.
with the dictionary. I'm
Sure.
like trying to figure out what it's saying.
The book. Oh,
The-
your
My
book with the
purchases,
yeah, for sure.
I am bonding with Nimbus.
Okay.
Fucking asshole.
Elm.
That's how we
I am definitely on like the stern of the ship, like
Yeah.
the back of the ship, just on the outside, just kind of watching.
I think.
Pass us.
Who do you feel on the crew that you're most connected to, not including Uther?
It's Shrek.
No, probably not Shrike. Probably like Corpse.
Sure. I think Corp is above deck, and he's going through the basics with you. And he's just kind of like walking you through like the different knots, and you're picking it up fairly easily with your experience previously, but there are noticeable differences and things like that. But he's walking you through kind of these initial stages.
I'm gonna go knock on Raya's door.
Okay.
Raya's die.
You see Raya laying on her bed as she's got Nimbus, and she will throw her up, and Nimbus extends her wings and just like slowly glides back down.
This is the most interesting creature.
I hate to interrupt such a fun moment, but would you come with me to see the lizards? Bring Nimbus along.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen Nimbus with the lizards. We can see what she thinks.
Oh, should be fun.
Did you get that stuff in your room?
I did. Yes. I'm pretty sure that bottle's worth more than that man sees in his lifetime, but it's good nonetheless. In the book, haven't quite started too much of it yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
I don't understand the language, but the pictures.
The language is just as colorful, my dear. Just as colorful.
With what are your passives?
12.
Oh, mine's like a. God, I need readers. Jesus, I'm getting old.
But you know who can see invisibility?
Mine's 16.
Nimbus.
What is your passive loot?
Passive perception. 13.
13. I think you guys are going about your business. You're playing some music in the lounge, relaxing, just kind of laying down. You're thinking a little bit about Muriel and
That's
playing
right.
some music
Got me in
and
my
stuff.
music.
I think you two are walking through the hall, and that's when you hear it, Yenna, and Elm, and Zari. You're in your room. You're in the hall. You're on the deck. Like thunderclouds. You're looking around. Corp's looking around. Don't see anything. Looking, no clouds in sight. Corp looks up over to Ozza, and you follow her eyes, and you see Ozza's there, and she's looking around. She goes, "Do you see anything?"
Nothing. Just you hear that thunder too?
You hear Shrike in the distance. It sounds normal, but he's yelling. Oh shit. Oh shit. Battle stations, hurry! You hear the thunder. All of you now hear the thunders getting louder and louder. What are you three doing? Below, or four below deck?
I'm gonna rush up deck.
Was,
That
did
sounds.
we hear Shrike?
No, you don't hear Shrike.
Oh, we don't? No.
You guys don't hear Shrike. You hear the thunder getting louder and louder.
I just assume we're heading into a storm, and I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
fiddling with my lute.
You do have some. There are windows in that gallery. You don't see any like storm wind or anything, but you're more. I'm just saying for context for your character. But you can
So
continue.
it
just
looks like a sunny day and
it
everything.
looks like a normal day. It doesn't look stormy.
I'll go check it out then.
Okay.
Put Nimbus down. We should go see if a storm's coming or something.
Yeah, probably.
I think I would also be going up to the deck because the last time there was a storm was like everybody needed to help.
Sure.
I didn't
Yes,
wanna-
I'm
Sure.
remembering
You
that
guys,
as well.
you four begin rushing up. Elm, you gave me the ballista symbol. Which one do you head to? There's the front and the back.
The one facing the issue. So if Shrike up front.
No, Shrike is flying.
Oh, he's just flying.
Shrike is like flying around. The ship doesn't move that fast as like single miles per hour, so it's fairly easy to like catch up to it.
What direction was Shrike like kind of seeming?
You
like
didn't
there's
see him.
distress?
You heard him, so you get the sensation it's coming from below the ship.
If it was below, then I'd probably go to the back.
Okay, you're at the back one. Corp is looking around. Shrike comes on top of the deck. You guys are rushing up on top of the deck. He says, you see him, if a bird could go pale. You see his eyes huge. He goes, get on the ballistas, hurry. And as he says that, you see probably a 200-foot wingspan
Damn.
flying up and just cresting through the clouds as you guys are underneath. You see this massive, essentially pterodactyl-like being, and you see it has this pale blue, almost like a sky blue skin tone. And you see as it opens its mouth, you hear this roar of thunder and almost the crackle of lightning go from side to side. And like I said, this is 200-foot wingspan. And you see he goes, I didn't see that one. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
No!
I say we keep playing.
Yeah, let's go until 2 a.m.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our little D&D session. We will be picking up next week.
That's it. I just had to.
Oh, I thought you said hold up.
That's what
I said. I said,
Tuesday-
oh boy.
Hold
Tuesday
up.
one shot and Wednesday we're
Tuesday
back.
one shot. Wednesday I kill them. I mean, we pick up right back here. All right. See you. Have a great week. Bye.